What do you do if you find a little bit of blood after you're brushing or flossing? My name's Katranji. Today we're going to talk about bleeding gums and what you can do at home to treat your bleeding gums. The first thing you can do is brush and floss. That's kind of the obvious answer. Brushing and flossing properly is going to be the best way to initially get rid of bleeding gums. If you ever look in the mirror and you look closely at your teeth and you see white film or something kind of coating your teeth, that usually means you have to do a little bit of better job when you're brushing and flossing. You should never see anything solid around your teeth except the whites of your teeth. The next most common thing to get rid of it is swishing with some salt water. Honestly, one of the best things you can do when your tissue is nice and puffy is use salt water to decrease that puffiness. Take a tablespoon of salt, put it in some water, stir it up, and do it as long as you can. Typically 30 seconds to a minute should be good. The longer you do it, the better. And that's going to be a really good way to help reduce the swelling of your gums and reduce that bleeding. The third thing has been around for a very long time. What you could do is you could take some salt, some baking soda, and kind of mix it up with some hydrogen peroxide into a small paste. Put that on your teeth, put that on your gums, brush it for as long as you can handle it, and then spit it out. What that's going to do, it's going to increase the oxygen in your mouth, killing a lot of the bacteria, and at the same time shrink those gums for you. That's another good way to reduce the bleeding in your mouth. Speaking of hydrogen peroxide, you can use hydrogen peroxide mixed with water in about a 1-to-1 solution and rinse with that alone, and that'll help oxygenate that mouth of yours and reduce the bleeding as well. Another clever way of using hydrogen peroxide is putting it into your Waterpik or your water flosser at home and use that to get underneath the gums and in between all of those teeth, those really crowded areas, to get rid of some of that bleeding. So one of the things about hydrogen peroxide is you really shouldn't be using it more than a couple times a week. And if it's really persistent over a long period of time, you should probably take a little vacation or a little holiday from doing it. Allow your body's bacteria the good bacteria to come back into your mouth before you start using it. There are some side effects with hydrogen peroxide and using it for a long period of time. Now, a lot of times you'll notice that the bleeding is only coming from one spot. Sometimes that's associated with an abscess, a localized infection on one of your teeth, an injury. Let's say you're eating some popcorn and a popcorn kernel gets in there. And many times that's an area that might need a little bit more attention, flossing that piece out, whatever's in there, doing a good job brushing and flossing that one area, and typically it'll get better over time. If it doesn't, my recommendation is to see your doctor as soon as you can. One of the things that's coming out, we really never talked about it before, is using probiotics and prebiotics to help with your gum disease and the inflammation that you'll notice around your tissue. One of the nice things about these probiotics is they're in competition with the bad bacteria in your mouth. So the more of that good bacteria you put into your mouth, the better it is for your gums. There are these lozenges that you can get. These lozenges have probiotics, the good biotics or the good bacteria. You use that, you kind of suck on it, and sometimes they have a nice flavor to them, and that will help combat your periodontal issues. Another nice thing that you can use is xylitol gum. Xylitol makes bacteria less sticky, so it doesn't attach to your gums and your teeth quite as easily. So a lot of times when you have that inflammation or that bleeding, it's because of that bacteria. If you can make them less sticky, it's a little bit better and easier for you to keep clean. Another thing that you can do to stop your bleeding gums is quit smoking. If you're a smoker, unfortunately, there's nothing you can do, but if you do some smoking cessation, you will get rid of some of that bleeding gums that you'll notice when you're brushing and flossing. Another thing that could be causing your bleeding is dry mouth. Dry mouth is a problem for your oral cavity because your body doesn't have the ability to fight off the bacteria. The bacteria becomes very sticky and attaches to your teeth. Some mouth breathers also have dry mouth. When you're asleep, one of the nice things that you can use is mouth tape to prevent the mouth breathing and allow for that saliva to stay in your mouth, eliminating some of that bleeding gums that you'll see in the morning. Another remedy comes from my grandma. I remember growing up, my grandmother used to always have cloves in her mouth. And at the time I thought it was weird, but now a lot of people are realizing clove oil actually has some antibacterial properties, analgesic, so it gives a little bit of a numbing property and has a nice way of decreasing the inflammation in your mouth. So believe it or not, chewing on some cloves also helps. If you can find some clove oil, just put a couple drops around your gums and that will also do the trick. If you'd like to use cloves or clove oil, you could use it once a day in the morning or at night. It also does a good job of freshening your breath. So the last thing, if you consistently see bleeding gums, the most important thing is to seek professional help. We'd be happy to help you. If you ever have any problems with bleeding gums or any other problems in your mouth, please come and see us. We'd be happy to talk to you, tell you about your problem, and see if we can help. I hope this video was helpful to you. If this is something that was interesting to you, or you have other topics that you're really wondering about, leave a comment on the bottom. Please subscribe because we have a lot of videos coming out. Thank you very much for watching and have a great day.
Restore your smile and your health. Visit drnemeth.com to schedule your appointment today.